Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 80, and we do have a few messages. So I have made arrangements with Xibalba to go back to not fighting anymore. Since the throne rush seems stopped by since the throne rush seems stopped by Also, I've made peace with Fomoria, and we've agreed on borders, so those will be settling over the next few turns. Okay. Yeah, I think Fomoria's earned that peace. They played extremely well. I want a bit of time to rebuild and expect where the next threat may be. Probably Uh, I believe he's right. However, you gotta take another throne or two off of Xibalba. Or somebody does. We'll see. Um, alright, so from Okay, so that was several tumultuous turns. Feels like my brain hasn't had a break since the Hinnom Throne Rush. Everything keeps piling on over and over again and keeps making me have to switch gears with different ideas. Probably not the best way to play things out, but it is what it is. Ultimately, we stopped the Xibalba Throne Rush. For now. In truth, I moved too late and he should have won, but I think he misplayed and couldn't cap all the thrones. It wasn't so much a misplay. The prophet died. And he didn't. I think that maybe the misplay was not having another Holy Three. There's a few ways to get those. You can get a Bishop Fish. You can get a Ring of the False Prophet. And you can, at least for Xibalba, you can summon a Ballin. But I think he misplayed and couldn't cap all the thrones, which gave me the extra turn I needed. Nice. Lucky, but nice. Yes. We did quite a bit of damage, as have others on top of the attrition Xibalba has faced against Hinnom. In truth, I should probably go all in against Xibalba at this point. Yes, I agree. We definitely have the advantage. Thing is, at this point, I'm extremely worried about Berytos' False God. I don't know about that. He is well known for scaling, and honestly, he's been relatively unchallenged throughout the majority of this game, aside from a slight bit of fighting there with Hinnom. He's quite large, and I expect he's the research leader by a wide margin. He is the research leader. I think we're at the stage of the game, though, where both you and Berytos have the initial 9s you would want. I don't know that research does much more at this point. I'm worried if I all in on Xibalba, Berytos will sweep in from behind and take the thrones he needs to win. That would be a lot of thrones. Berytos has 2 thrones, so you need to pick up 4. I think that's a tall order. Throne placement in this game has really dictated what I want to do, terribly so. Additionally, fighting Berytos would mean Xibalba would almost certainly sweep in and get the 1 throne he needs. So I don't know that piecing out Xibalba is a great plan. On the flip side, going in on Berytos would likely just give Xibalba the time to recover and then take the final throne he needs. Yeah. So everything still feels like it's hugely imbalanced. I feel very strong, but just not with the capability of contesting the thrones I need to win. I disagree. Go go fight whoever you want, or you can definitely fight pretty much anyone at this point. That leaves Mekone. On one hand, I'm hesitant to attack him because he's helped in contesting Xibalba, though unsuccessfully. On the other hand, he's got 2 contestable thrones. That's true, but you need to be taking the thrones from Xibalba because he's got 5. Ultimately, his power level is super in question as well, since his scales are goodish. But I don't know how well his research is. I'm considering the idea of attacking Mekone, hoping to alpha him pretty hard and secure both his thrones. That would give me 4. Ultimately, though, it's looking like Zib is going to be sitting on 5 thrones, so unless I can get Berytos and Xibalba to fight each other, well, I just don't know. No, you need to go fight Xibalba. You're the strongest player in the lobby. You need to go take the thrones from the only person who could win the game. You need to not rely on other people to help you win the game. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is his worst decision of the game so far, pacing out Xibalba. I think this is an awful decision. Berytos and Mekone both have 2 thrones. Now, he might not know that he could probably fight a 1v2 and probably win. But he needs to attack the only person who can win the game now. You can always talk to a player later and see if maybe you can get out of a war. Not everyone in this lobby does Hell Wars, especially if you can be like, if you can do some give and take. Or maybe you can knock them out of the war enough that you can pivot. But yeah, needs to fight Xibalba. I don't think you can rely on Berytos to fight Xibalba. I don't think you can rely on Mekone to fight Xibalba, because Mekone just pieced him out too. And Mekone's taken a lot of attrition against Fomoria, and some of that has been in the game chat, like hints of it. And for stopping a throne rush that wasn't, at least from the outside, it didn't look like a terribly powerful power projection onto the Xibalba throne. I think needs to fight this war. Just go get them. Come on, Distant Horizon. All right. If you kill the game leader, you win the game in terms of the thrones right now. Xibalba's got 5. He's got all the thrones you need. You don't need to fight anyone else. Just go kill Xibalba. If Berytos tries to sweep in, you'll kill the Berytos stuff too. Worry about that later. All right. And then we got Dire Portent. So Riches from Beneath goes up for All right, we've got a few battles. I had a little bit of a failboat recording, so I don't think any interesting battles happen this turn. Oh, there's the Thug that we've seen before. Soul Griffin raid runs into a bunch of Draconians. We've seen this Fomorian army walking around. A little Hinnom raid. This is cool. We'll watch this. This is Marverni freeing his capital from the terrible dominion of the troglodytes. So Marverni's not dead. And he now has 3 forts. He has his capital, he's got 1 other overland fort, and he's got his cave fort. And importantly, he's got his capital income, which with his hell scales is not great, but still a good province. And then this mill cart's really cool. We'll take a look at this. So this is the arena champion. So luck and quickness. Then defense skill +5, map move +6. As the bless is still off because the pretender is dead. Has enormous strength. So this is 2 attacks. 23 attack, 48 damage, has the gore, but also has 36 combat speed. This is a terrifying Melkart if you're a puny human. Yeah, I mean, this guy just books it. I think, what is it? I think cavalry are normally around like 18 to 22 combat speed. So this guy would chase down cavalry. All right. There's this nifty archdevil flying around. Here's his kit. So you can take a look at that. The Flesh Eater is for Berserker. Bloodthorn is for Life Drain and Reinvigoration. Carmine Cleaver is the big AP attack, along with an additional AP effect. And then Quickness, so this is technically 8 magic attacks per turn. And yeah, all with pretty good stats, good damage. So pretty killy. Another Fomorian army moving around. This one looks like the Dance of the Morrigan's army. You know, we've got the Death 5 person, the immortal Death 4 mage, along with some others. And then Vampire survives, and this it dies. Additionally, I think I saw a couple of other things. A Mekone mage dies to a horror attack. I can find it right here. So this guy, he's got no gear on him, but he dies to 5 belly maws. And yeah. So over the last couple of turns, while losing this throne over in Pranda, we have seen Xibalba take Ard and take Gilgad. And so he, you know, you've got this, patrols out the Stride Mother, and a couple of scouts. So I think Xibalba is going to try and build up his power. And then I think he's going to try and maybe make a play on Sitha and Kasevik. Kasevik's a lot more difficult. It's 1,000 wall strength. Sitha is a lot easier. Now, if he's thinking... Now, I do think Berytos could fight Xibalba, but I don't... If you're I don't think you want to rely on someone else preventing the game from ending if they're not in a top position. And I don't think Berytos, as a one-cap nation, is in a top position right now. So you're relying on a demotivated player, probably, to try and counter a highly motivated player who only needs 1 throne to win, to stop them while you try to do a big greedy alpha strike to get 2 thrones where you taking them does not prevent someone else from winning the game. Right? So if you take the 2 Mekone thrones and now you're at 4, yes, you've increased your throne count, but Xibalba still has 5. In my view, any thrones for need to come at Xibalba's expense. The war against Xibalba must continue. I don't know how Xibalba got this peace deal, but this has got to be the worst peace deal for and I'm not sure if he realizes it. Maybe Lunaticman is just being so friendly, so nice, so communicative. Maybe he's fear-mongering Berytos a ton. I don't know what he's saying, but the game state is needs to fight Xibalba, in my opinion. I don't think you want to rely on Berytos to do it. I don't think you want to rely on Mekone to do it. Now, he doesn't probably... There's been some chatter in the game chat about the Dance of the Morgans battle, but I don't know if screenshots have been sent. If these players are chatting with the sub a lot. But Mekone definitely I mean, he's got a good army on Resting Heights, a good army on Winden. So he's garrisoned his thrones. The Mekone thrones are not thrones that you need to worry about that will cause the game to end. So I think you need to leave Mekone alone and go after Xibalba. But unfortunately, I think we're going to see that big alpha strike. Maybe go after Mekone. Which is weird because his big armies are on these two thrones. So part of it is he's going to hire new troops to go run up here. Or maybe he'll gateway some stuff. But fighting Mekone means Xibalba and Berytos are left in a 1v1. And that seems highly unstable to me. Especially if Mekone troops get drawn away from Golem Rod. Say there's like a war, maybe this army moves back to help its capital, then this whole Xibalba army can move. And potentially it can gateway to Gilgad and then immediately run on Sitha. Yeah, I don't I don't like this one, but I think, and maybe he doesn't know the full picture over here on this border region. I have a strong suspicion that many of the players have very poor scouting networks. So yeah, I mean, this is just working out for Xibalba to make another stab at this. We'll see if maybe Kirby and can talk it out. Now, I think could fight any two of these three. I don't know that he can fight all three. I think it's possible if he plays extremely well and maybe other players make mistakes. But yeah, it's I'm concerned if Xibalba gets to take all these blood vengeance things and fight Berytos. Because I think Berytos he puts on a lot of buffs for his army, but he also relies on a certain amount of evocations, or his mages might be predisposed to casting evocations, in which case they'll kill themselves. And that sounds really bad. Whereas has a lot more nature and water magic, which, I mean, there's evocations in there, but I don't think they cast quite as often. So it's a little bit safer for him to fight Xibalba. And he's got a lot more troops to, like hard-hitting troops to trade into Xibalba. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I think this is a big mistake. But we'll see if it ends up costing. It also means that Berytos can't come to Mekone's aid. So it could be enormously profitable. But it also doesn't get any closer to stopping a Xibalba throne rush in terms of territory either. So it could be like 3 to 4 turns where Xibalba just gets to gear up to maybe fight these thrones. I mean, if he's lucky, Berytos mounts the defense, fends off Xibalba, and then he gets to probably just fight both of them if he wants. But in my view, yeah, you had the war you needed to get all the thrones to win the game with Xibalba here. I wouldn't have worried about Berytos vulturing. If you play aggressively, you can get to a lot of these thrones or contest them from Berytos, you can certainly at least reach Copper Canyons, and Berytos isn't going to win off of just these two. You would need two more. So he'd need these two. Or Berytos would have to also vulture Fomoria. And I have a feeling this is a big unknown for her. I don't know that he's got a lot of scouting in the Fomoria region. All right. Well, I mean, we took a brief look. I'll flash through the graphs. And then you see the big income increase from riches. So this is why I'm convinced he can fight any two, at least, maybe three. And if he's concerned about Berytos, then I think that would be a good time to cast Akashic Record at Berytos' capital. I think that's a really nice spell for maybe helping get a better idea of game state, because you get to pull their graphs. And so, although I think Mekone has the regular graphs, so Mekone's got a pretty good idea that is potentially a problem, because he probably, I don't think he's got the research graph, because I think it's non-magical graphs. So he sees the army graph, probably not this one. It sees the income graph. So yeah, I mean, I think it's highly likely if fights anyone other than Xibalba, that Xibalba gets a second shot at doing a throne rush, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I really appreciate the messages, and we'll have to just see how it plays out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.